guys, hope you're all doing okay. Doing better than me. This is a little bit of a moan and a little bit of advice at the same time. I released a video, the last video released just a few days ago, on covering a set of interior trim panels. These were for a MGB GT. The panels were supplied by the customer, the off-the-shelf panel made from MDF, I think, and I went to the trouble of covering them and went to fit them, and they don't fit, not even close. It's my own fault. I should check these things. Off-the-shelf panels generally are dog shit. I wouldn't normally cover an off-the-shelf panel. It's just something that I would rather make sure the panel that I make actually fits the vehicle that I'm working on. I should know better by now, but obviously this time I just went ahead, just assumed that these panels would fit the car. They were in the back of the car, and they don't, and I'll show you the difference. This one is the panel that I covered that was supplied by the customer, and this is the panel that I made up, and I'll show you the difference. I'll lay one on top of the other. So that's one on top of the other, and they're not even close. It's not like there was a little bit wrong with them and I could just unstaple part of the job and trim off what I needed to trim off. It would have been too much work just to take the cover off the panel and then trim the panel down. So I decided to make two new panels, which I should have done in the first place rather than relying on an off-the-shelf panel. I've done this in the past. I've used off-the-shelf panels that have been supplied by customers, and most of them, if they do fit, they're not great, but most of them don't fit very well at all. Holes don't line up, and 99.9% of them are made from either hardboard or MDF. Now, hardboard and MDF are not great, especially in classic vehicles. A lot of classic vehicles, they're not great for being completely weather tight. They do suffer from a little bit of dampness inside, and if you ever use MDF and it gets damp, you know what happens to it. It just becomes very misshapen. I've used it in the past for certain panels that I need a lot of bend on, but I try and avoid MDF as much as I can and stick with what I know, and what I know is a 3.6mm WBP plywood. WBP means water and boil proof, so if the car does get damp inside, it's not going to affect the panel. It being waterproof, it doesn't become misshapen because of moisture. It may get a little bit of mould on it, but that's not an issue when it comes to the fitment of the car and how it behaves when it's in the car. So yeah, the work I put in a couple of days ago has now gone out the window. So I will put these up on a wall of shame, and it will be a lesson for me again to never cover someone else's supplied panels. So if you do buy panels from whoever you buy them from, do your research, make sure what you're buying is of quality and fits how it should do. The last thing you want to do is do what I've just done and go to the trouble of covering the card and then have to make a new set. So these will go on the wall, and yeah, I'll now get on with covering these two new panels. I hope that was useful. Gave you a bit of information on what not to do, and yeah, back to work. Also guys, one more thing. When it comes to trim panel clips, buy genuine ones. I've got two different kinds here. One has a number stamped on. I'm not sure if you're even going to be able to see this. This one has a number on it. That is a genuine part, and this one has no number on. That is a non-genuine part. They look identical apart from the part number. And there's a massive difference between these two clips. This is a bit harder plastic, so when the clip actually goes in, it's more secure. This is quite soft. These, I got some ridiculous amount, like maybe 1,000, I don't know, I think I got 1,000 of these for a ridiculous amount, like 40 quid. And I don't use them because they, well, I say I don't use them. I use them in parts where there's no stress on the board. If it's a very flat panel and the panel's not on a door, so the door doesn't open and close, because these, if you put these on a door, the non-genuine ones, then when the door slams, the clips sometimes come off just because of the movement of the door. These never come off. These are much better, so I always use these. These I just fill in the gaps when I can. So yeah, another one for you, genuine parts. I also use these kind of clips as well. See if you can see them. So I use these kind of clips. And I used to buy them from a local supplier who specialises in VWs, Porsches, things like that, and they just break. So if you put them on, they're absolutely fine for going on, but if you want to remove the door card afterwards, say you forgot to do something or it doesn't fit and you need to adjust something, and you go to remove the card, nearly all the panel clips just snap, whereas the genuine ones, these, I buy them from Worth, they're not cheap, but they're much better because they don't break. I can remove a panel multiple times and the clips are absolutely fine. So yeah, buy quality parts when it comes to things like trim clips. Makes a massive difference. You'll spend more money buying the cheap ones and then throwing half of them away and then going out and buying better quality ones. So yeah, buy better quality, makes a massive difference. Right, I'll go and see if these will fit. Let's hope they do. They better do.